According to a quote attributed to Nostradamus, it is believed the French prophet said that mankind will discover objects in space sent to us by the Watchers. For years the Black Knight satellite has caused a huge debate among people on social networks, blogs, and websites. It is believed that there is an object, called the Black Knight satellite, located in polar orbit around our planet. While many believe and are probably right, that the object is nothing more than space debris, others firmly believe the Black Knight satellite is an alien probe that has been orbiting Earth for at least 13,000 years. Interestingly, over 50 years ago, experts in the US thought the Black Knight satellite was a Russian spy satellite. The story about the object can even be traced to the 1940s when the St. Louis Dispatch and the San Francisco Examiner wrote about the satellite on May 14, 1954. Furthermore, the Time magazine also wrote about it in an article on the 7th of March, 1960. Here is what they said about it. 3 weeks ago, headlines announced that the U.S. had detected a mysterious dark satellite wheeling overhead on a regular orbit. There was nervous speculation that it might be a surveillance satellite launched by the Russians, and it brought the uneasy sensation that the U.S. did not know what was going on over its own head. But last week the Department of Defense proudly announced that the satellite had been identified. It was a space derelict, the remains of an Air Force Discoverer satellite that had gone astray. The story deepens as we find that on August 23, 1954, the technology magazine Aviation Week and Space Technology released a story that angered the Pentagon, who were trying to keep the information secret. The short article stated, "Pentagon scare over the observance of 2 previously unobserved satellites orbiting the Earth has dissipated with the identification of the objects as natural, not artificial satellites." Dr. Lincoln Lopez, expert on extraterrestrial bodies from the University of New Mexico, headed the identification project. One satellite is orbiting about 400 miles out, while the other track is 600 miles from the Earth. Pentagon thought momentarily the Russians had beaten the U.S. to space explorations. And now, a quote allegedly attributed to Nostradamus appeared online. Supposedly, the French prophet said that mankind will discover objects in space sent to U.S. by the Watchers. But why do people think he talked about the Black Knight satellite? Well, it is believed that someone actually decoded the messages coming from the Black Knight satellite. The decoded a series of signals from the alleged satellite were interpreted as a star chart centered on the Epsilon Boot star system, and that the Black Knight originated from this system 13,000 years ago. The message that the Black Knight satellite supposedly transmits is the following: start here. Our home is Epsilon Bootis, which is a double star. We live on the 6th planet of 7 check that, 6th of 7 counting outwards from the Sun, which is the larger of the two. Our 6th planet has 1 moon, our 4th planet has 3, our 1st and 3rd planets each have 1. Our probe is in the orbit of your moon. This updates the position of Arcturus shown on our maps. While this is an interesting quote, we are unable to verify its accuracy and authenticity. The quote can only be traced back to Arizona quotes, but we have still not seen the original text written by Nostradamus.